that comes up in GCSE hard tier, triple tier and A level. So the easiest bit is to look at what you've been given. So I normally write down the elements, make into table. So I've got carbon there, hydrogen, and I've been given chlorine. So I've been given 24%, so write down the percentages I have. So for hydrogen is 4.1, and then that's for chlorine. So I've got 4.1, and then I've got for carbon is 24.2, and chlorine 71.7. The next thing you need to do is go and look at your periodic table and look for their mass number. So the mass number for the chlorine for hydrogen is 1, carbon is 12, and chlorine is 35.5. And then the next thing I need to do is divide the two numbers together. So what I'm going to do now is to look at the division, which is basically the number of moles. So what we're going to do is look at the number of moles, which is the mass, the percentage over AR or MR, depending on what's been given in this calculation. So what we're going to do is being given the mass number. If we do the first one, that divided by itself is going to give you the same number. And then I've got for the second one, 24.2 divided by 12 gives me roughly 2.016. And then for the final one, I've got 71.7 divided by 35.5. That gives me 2.019. Now we can't have that of an atom, so we just round them up. And then we say that the ratio here is, now what you need to do is look at the ratios and divide. So what we want to do is to work out is divided by the smallest number. So we're going to do is divided by the smallest number of moles. So if you look at the smallest number of moles, this is the smallest. So we're going to do 0.16 divided by that. We're going to do 2.019 divided by the smallest number again. And here we're going to do 4.1 divided by that number. And what we get is now a ratio of how many we have of each. So if I do 4.1 divided by 2.016, that roughly gives me a 2.3. So that's a 2. That divided by itself is a 1. And here again, if I divide that by 1. So I've got 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. So when we write this down, we put carbon first and hydrogen and then chlorine. So I've got one, if I look at the formula now, I've got 1 carbon, I have got 2 hydrogens and 1 chlorine. That's how you calculate the empirical formula.